Alright, welcome back, class. Again, we left off with just solving introduction into polynomials. What is a polynomial? What is a polynomial? What is not a polynomial? Okay, and you had 8 examples. Today we're actually going to go into direct substitution and the new one, synthetic substitution. Okay. Alright, so evaluate by direct substitution and then by synthetic substitution. Alright, so I'm probably going to do 2 problems here and then 1 problem on the next slide, and then that'll be it for the first day, and then we'll get into graphing. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Number 9. So 9A. Alright, direct substitution simply means they actually tell us what x is equal to. X is equal to 2. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in f of 2 wherever I see an x. Let me change the color. Sorry. Okay. And go ahead and evaluate it, so that we actually get 2 cubed gives us 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. 2 squared, 4, minus 2, plus 7. Okay. Order of operations tells us to do whatever comes first when we're adding and subtracting from left to right. So this is the left side. This gives me 40 plus 12 minus 2 plus 7. Okay. Here gives me 52 minus 2 plus 7. That gives me 50 plus 7, and 50 plus 7 gives me 57. Okay. That's what we've been doing ever since we're in elementary school, or maybe 6th grade, whenever you started algebra. Okay. All right. The new one is called synthetic substitution. I'm going to leave this up here. We'll do it on this side. Alright, let me go ahead and get rid of the slide. I'll bring it back in just a moment. Okay. Alright, so if we look at our problem up here, okay, let me go ahead and write it up here so we see it. 5x cubed plus 3x squared minus x plus 7. Okay. So if you look back at your notes, I said all the coefficients have to be here. Okay, so the coefficient of here is 5, coefficient of here is 3, coefficient of here is -1, and here is 7. Okay. Now, what are we evaluating? What are we plugging into the function? They told us it's x is equal to 2. So, let's go ahead and put 2 there. When you work this out, your answer is going to be here in the last box. This will be your answer. Remember that we're multiplying numbers on the outside, we're adding numbers on the inside. Okay. So, direct substitution, synthetic substitution, it makes no difference. We should get the same answer. So, I'm going to go ahead and put our answer here, which is 57. Okay. It's just a different way of solving or evaluating this polynomial function. Alright, first step. Always bring down the first term. That is the process. Always bring down the first term. Okay. And now we begin from here. Okay. There's 2 numbers on the outside. Since we're talking about the outside, 2 times 5 gives me 10. Where does that number go? The result goes up here. Okay. 2 times 5 is 10. The result goes on the top. And now we have 2 numbers on the inside. 3 plus 10 gives me 13. Okay. Now we have two new numbers on the outside. Well, one new number, 13, times 2. That result gives me 26. How did I get this number? Again, we added 3 plus 10 gives me 13. 13 times 2 gives me 26. Whatever I add, the result's going to go down here. 26 plus -1 is 25. And now you use 25 times our original number, which is 2, gives me 50. And again, 50 plus 7 gives me 57. Okay. So again, it's just a different way of evaluating a polynomial function. Okay. This is going to be very important when we start doing log division and synthetic division. We're going to have to use this. Okay. And I'm just going to give you a heads up. These numbers actually mean something. Okay. But I'm going to let you YouTube it if you like, or just wait until we get to section 5.4. Okay. So that right there is synthetic substitution. Over here is direct substitution. But again, we get the same numbers. That's how you know if you're doing it correctly. Okay? So let's go ahead and do a challenging one. Let me go ahead and bring up the slide. Okay. All right. I'm actually going to have you do 10 and 11. I'm going to go ahead and do number 12 for us. Okay? Number 12 is a bit tricky. So let me go ahead and copy it up here. And we're going to evaluate this at x equals -1. Okay? Let me go ahead and turn off the slides. So first, direct. Simply plugging in x equals -1 into the function, g of -1 gives me -2, -1 to the 4th, again I'm doing it, minus a -1, okay, cubed plus 4 times -1 minus 5. Okay? Alright, so let's go ahead and evaluate this. There's a lot of negatives, so be careful, guys. -1 to the 4th, that means you're multiplying -4 times. That's going to be a +1. Negative times a negative, you don't do that. You do -1 cubed by order of operations. That still gives me a negative. 4 times -1 is -4 minus 5. Evaluate this, we get -2. Negative times a negative is +1 minus 4 minus 5. Again, order of operations tells me from left to right. -2 plus 1 gives me -1 minus 4 minus 5. You subtract this out, this will give you -5 minus 5, which gives me -10. Okay. This is direct substitution. Let's go ahead and do the new one, synthetic substitution. Okay. All right, I'm going to erase this one. This is now 12b. G of x gives me -2x to the 4th minus x cubed plus 4x minus 5 x equals 4. All right. All right, so what's important about synthetic substitution is that the polynomial has to be in order, okay, standard form. We start off with -2, that's power 4, Next is power of 3, which is -1. Okay. I'm going to leave this blank for now. Next is power of 4. Okay, power of 1, which is 4. Then is -5. Okay. If you're wondering why I left the blank, I didn't make a mistake. Okay. It has to be in order from standard form. So before 4 comes 3, before 3 comes 2, but we have no 2, so we introduce a 0. Okay? If you do not put that 0 there, when you do synthetic substitution, you're going to notice that the answer is not going to come out to -10. Okay? That's important. Then we have -1 on the outside. Remember that we're multiplying and adding. Since I already know my answer, this should be -10. Okay? Here we go. -2, remember, always bring down the first term, and then we could begin from there. -2 times -1 is +2. 2 plus -1 is 1. 1 times -1 is -1. -1 plus 0 is -1. -1 times -1 is +1. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 times -1 is -5. And again, this is our answer. If you notice what I did for synthetic substitution, I still get the same answer as direct substitution. Okay. So again, you have 2 problems to practice. Let me go ahead and bring it up for you guys. Okay. Go ahead and practice number 10 and 11. And again, if you're having trouble, bring those questions up tomorrow in class. Next slide. Alright, so here we have some more examples, okay, just with a little bit of higher exponents, okay. Go ahead and try these if you like, okay. If you're having trouble with one of these, okay, ask me tomorrow in class and then we can go over it. Alright, so again, that concludes the first day, the first 2 days, which we covered polynomials. What is a polynomial? We cover synthetic substitution, okay, direct substitution. There's your homework. Go ahead and do 3 to 22 all, and then the next day we're going to be doing graphing, okay, the fun stuff. See you tomorrow.